Hello and welcome back to Hogwarts Legacy. So, just to give you something of a little bit of a backstory just quickly, essentially the other save file I had, I ploughed ahead with trying to do live streams, and essentially I believe that the issue with me trying to do the live streams is because of the internet server I have. So what I did was I asked my cousin to record some of his gameplay, and I uploaded it to YouTube. It's not been saved there, so you're aware of that. And it uploaded successfully. So in order to do that, I had to make sure that it was on the fidelity mode, and also that it was running at 1280 by 720 at 30 frames per second, and this is on the PlayStation 5. That is the lowest level you can get, which you can change under broadcast in your broadcast settings. So with that said, I should also point out that it does still upload as HDR as well. One of the things I changed, and I'm hoping will be noticeable if I can find it. So, in this here, I changed this audio configuration to TV because it was set to cinema. So I'm hoping that might explain the voice pitch issue that I could hear in my headphones. Anyway. Unfortunately, due to that, I had to restart all again, but I didn't actually restart the original profile. What I did was I just started another character, because same one, but you may notice some slight differences because obviously I've done things slightly different. But essentially, I'm using this kind of a backup file, and it's very possible I may continue to use this one and leave the original one as the backup one. But I'm at the point now where I actually left off from the actual last live stream that I was able to do, where I did the dueling club and I got the won the dueling championship. So this is what I'm actually wearing here, the dueling champions garb. Almost kind of look like a bit of a pirate, or if you would. Anyway, so I don't remember actually the order that I did the question afterwards, but what I thought I might do is actually perhaps go and do the Herbology class and then do the girl from Wagadoo, because it actually would coincide with me needing to do the assignments that I need to do to get the Expelliarmus spell. So, one thing you will also probably notice that I am a little higher than I was, I believe, than in the previous live stream that I did. Unfortunately, I didn't notice. Well, I did actually go on it at some point, and I didn't actually take any notes of the level, but I'd rather be ahead with the levels than behind. So let's get on with this. Let's go and finally meet Professor Garlic. Right, let's actually talk to someone and see if this pitch has changed.
Lost to a new student? I didn't see that coming.
Right, so I don't actually say anything.
Shame it's over. I was just getting started.
You can't be beat, can you?
I'm actually, I mean, he's a bit of an arse, Leander Pruitt, but I'm beginning to like him.
The best duelist won, I suppose.
My owl's getting cobwebs.
So I've been trying to take a note of a lot of the actual student names and that, because for anybody that may have seen me do the bit where I'm creating my own actual field guide of Hogwarts, I need to make sure that we have the actual names of the students, any actual other NPCs that we interact with, such as the vendors, the goblins, names of the actual enemies that we face to us, such as Victor Woods. In fact, I've even taken note of one of them who happens to have the surname of one of my Irish ancestors, so I'm not exactly sure whether I should be overly chuffed by that or what. Although thankfully she doesn't actually have the same name. Although one of the actual brother does. But when we get to that point, I will point that out. Obviously, every time you have an... also, I've noticed there is a different way you're addressed by certain characters. So, Ominous Gaunt, when I was just waiting for Professor Fig to speak to him, he made a comment about the fighting a troll in Hogsmeade. I don't know whether he was actually possibly impressed or whether he was actually potentially upset that Sebastian was involved. I don't know.
Revelio.
Right. I don't know if it's... I can't think if it's here or what, but there is somewhere here where you can actually get one of the field guides. I think it's the tree up here actually.
Revelio.
Oh, there we go. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly show you so this is where I currently stand. I've actually done so much field collecting of the pages, and if you do actually decide to use Genie Map, and you don't actually have to pay the premium rate for it, you can actually use it free of charge, and it gives you the full map locations of everything on there. And obviously they update it as they play, and whoever it is plays through it as well. So you'll excuse the fact that if you don't see me collect any field guides here, then you know Genie Map is the place to go. And there are of course other gamers out there that have done it, but this is how far I've actually managed to get, which is a little bit more than I had previously at this point. Okay, so let's go now. I should really do this in my robes, shouldn't I? I might actually wear this for when I'm actually out gallivanting around. Why did I do that? No, I don't want to do that. Exit, go back. Right, so to change the appearance, if it's on PlayStation 5, is just to press the square button and just hover over the actual box bit here itself. As you can see just in the left hand corner there, change appearance. I don't know what it is for PC, but I do know that it is X for the Xbox Series S, I believe it's called. Oh, and you'll notice I've got before I did actually have quite a lot of other wand enhancement bits here, handles as they're called, but I haven't actually been out and got those yet. So I'm actually using this one here because it's pretty close to the wands that I'm using. One thing I will say is I do love when Ollivander says about being a perfect match and that, and he actually says about the differences in how hard it is to work with certain cores, and as he rightly points out, the Phoenix Feather is one of the hardest cores to actually I don't actually like that because it takes away the... Oh, sorry. I just feel like when I'm in here I should actually have the correct school robes on. I have got the House Fanatic one here, which you have obviously seen me wear. And there's... Oh, I was going to say, it can't be Merlin's cloak. There's Merlin's cloak. I mean, they made so much fuss about this cloak, and I, to be honest with you, I'm going to say I don't like it very much. Given the fact that Merlin wasn't just associated, you know, he had so many talents, Merlin. This is the one they went with, the Celestial one. I think that would have been more appropriate if they'd done it for Professor Rackham, as he was a seer. Anyway, I'm not going to wear that. I'm going to just stick to this one here. I'm just procrastinating on going into Herbology. I do apologise. Okay, here goes.
Good morning, Professor Garlick.
How wonderful it is to see you again, Lenora dear. Oh, here. You'll need these for today's class. A little treat for your auntie. Ah, hello. Class, please welcome the newest rose in our garden. We do look forward to growing together. How thrilling it is to have everyone back together again. This year will be filled with enchantment and excitement, but the most important thing cultivated in herbology is knowledge. The prudent herbologist is no more afraid of the venomous tentacular than the bouncing bulb. Now then, today we will be acquainting ourselves with the mellifluous tuber known as the mandrake root. Accio.
Right, hopefully this will not be too loud for you.
We can't make our fibrous friends a bit more comfortable, shall we? First, let's protect our ears. Now, everyone, grip their mandrake by the tendrils and give it a firm tug.
Right, I hope that wasn't too loud. Thankfully it wasn't for me, but I hope it wasn't too loud for you.
The soil should envelop the root like a warm, dirty blanket, putting the mandrake right at ease.
I don't know how she thinks we're hearing her with the cotton wool buds in our ears.
I'm very sorry about that. Yours was a bit mature, I'm afraid. All right then, off you go. Splendid work, everyone. Now for our next task, we'll be planting dittany at our potting tables. You can all
probably
get
going to say
started
something a
when you
little
have a
controversial
good word
here.
with our new student.
Right, so there's Ominous. He actually is doing... Is that Ominous? No, it isn't. Is it? No, it is. Why was he not using his wand to guide him?
I should think Professor Garlick would be more careful with her mandrakes.
Although he is kind of one of the good guys from the Slytherin family line, he is very, you know, oh la di da, as you may. some of us were saying in England.
Last season. The second best time is now.
Right, I'm not going to lie. He shouldn't be in Ravenclaw. He spends more time thinking about jokes and things like that than he does anything else. Right.
He will soon learn that Kagawa's techniques are lacking.
Did you
Hello,
know
Violet.
that you can use the mandrake to defend yourself? Why, the very idea.
Serona at the Three Broomsticks always.
We're actually spying on their conversation. See, I didn't actually do this before.
I wonder if hippogriffs like knotgrass.
I do wonder about Professor Fig. He's hardly ever in his classroom. Most strange.
Yes, well, Natty does know the reason for that.
Yes, Professor.
Well, she
Firstly,
will do.
well done with your mandrake. They can be rather difficult to get a grasp of.
Actually, I enjoyed it. I couldn't help but catch your enthusiasm.
How kind of you. It seems you're already taking to herbology like a mandrake to fresh soil. Now, as I mentioned, next we'll be planting Dittany. Let us find you some seeds.
I already have some, Professor. Picked them up in Hogsmeade.
You visited the Magic Neep. Wonderful. A prepared student is bound to bloom. I've arranged for you to have your own potting table here in the classroom. Wasn't easy to spare one on such late notice. Plant the seeds there now, and you can return to harvest them later. Even with soil, sunlight, and a bit of magic, they will take time to grow.
Let's see how to balance my star thistle arrangement. Niffler's fancy or roses?
Oh, she's there. I could hear her talking. I'm thinking, where is she? She's there, ominous.
Dittany's restorative properties make it a vital ingredient in the Wiggenweld potion, as you all should know from Professor Sharp's class. Well done! Once it can be harvested, your Dittany will be ready to use in Wiggenweld potion. I'll let Professor Sharp tell you about that. Now, what say we branch out? Introduce you to a different sort of flora, the Chinese chomping cabbage. You'll find that some plants are better suited to uses outside of a cauldron. The cabbages do get testy without something to chew. Fortunately, I have a dummy for them to gnaw on. Be a dear and let them have a good chomping.
Yes, Professor.
They're in the other greenhouse. It's just at the end of the footbridge leading out of this room. Your classmate, Mr. Pruitt, has kindly offered to accompany you. Come back and see me when you're finished. Oh, and mind your fingers. They do bite.
Thanks for the warning. Right, it does still sound a little pitchy. I'm just going to go in and try something. You know what? Let me just move out of the way of Professor Garlic, because it doesn't look right. What was it here? Tells you how to, it says to change it and then it doesn't allow you to do it. Right, okay, I'm guessing it doesn't give you any choice. Let's just see how that is.
Hello. Saw you on your way to Hogsmeade the other day. Nice to meet you. I'm Leander. I'll be showing you the Chinese chomping cabbages. Up these stairs will take us there, but your lead. Nice work in defense against the
Revelio.
dark arts, by the way.
Excuse me.
Oh, that's better.
Sebastian, and he's good. Thinks he's really good, but you outright slaughtered him. Brilliant.
Oh. Well, thank you.
I nearly put Sebastian in his place myself. I mean, I would have, if Hecate hadn't stopped me.
Didn't she stop that dragon skull from crushing you?
Typical Slytherin trick, dropping a dragon skull on someone during a fight. We Gryffindors fight with honor. And, Ravenclaws too. At least you did.
I love the way he was quick to...
Revelio.
I will investigate that. So let's just go down and do this. So the pitch does sound a little better to me.
Here we are, home of the Chinese chomping. Go on, grab a few of those cabbages. Just mind your fingers. I almost lost a thumb once. Don't worry, Nurse Blaney. Now, see that dummy? Just toss the cabbages at it, and they'll do the rest. Look at that! That's not anything they can get their mouths on. Mum planted some in her garden last year to keep the gnomes out. Did save her the de-gnoming, but they left her honking daffodils in tatters. Vicious little bastards, aren't they? My kind of plants. Not like stupid booba tubers and bouncing bulbs. The kind of plants that'd have your back in a fight. Not saying you can't go it alone, but, well, imagine that wasn't a dummy.
I suppose they could prove useful outside of the greenhouse. Nothing wrong with a bit of backup, even if it is from a cabbage.
It's chaos out there. Trolls in Hogsmeade and such. You can't be above throwing a cruciferous vegetable if necessary. Dogweed and deathcap has more of them, if you're keen. Other plants too. Ones your parents wouldn't plant in the garden. You get the idea. Anyway, we probably ought to head back to class.
Right, before we do that, it sounds still a little pitchy, so let me just try perhaps going the other way.
Take your time. I'll see you back in class.
Right, now I actually found out that if you actually push R3 in on the pad,
And with that helpful
it makes you run
reminder as to
quicker.
why we should always wear our dragon hide gloves, I shall end our lesson here. Terribly sorry, Mr. Clopton.
I tended to the Chinese chomping cabbages, Professor.
Remarkable plants, aren't they? I hope they weren't too much trouble. Oh, don't see any bite marks or missing digits. And good, as you do seem to be quite green-fingered. Oh, I'm eager to see your skill in the soil continue to blossom.
Magical plants have so much to offer. I'm eager to learn more.
I'm glad. Herbology is a bounteous subject. Tend to your garden, and it will tend to you. Huh. Well, I suppose that's everything. Do come by for a chat sometime. I so enjoy checking in with my new students.
Yeah, the pitch it makes no difference at what level you've got it. It just seems to be the same no matter what. I see, when I was 15, my voice broke very deeply, and although I've actually, you might actually, if you look at my actual character here,
These
see.
mandrakes are really relishing their new pots. Only cost me my damned hearing.
To make anything grow, we must first understand it. That goes for plants.
Right, so let me go into gear and then you'll see what. So basically, you might be able to just vaguely see some differences in the facial features, and because I've actually found a photo of my great uncle that I was basing this on, the face is well, I don't know if it is any different, to be honest. When I certainly set the character up, it looked different, that's for sure. Right, now I think this, I had a feeling this is going to open. Right, so attend Herbology. So we'll do potions next, and then we'll do the girl from Magadoo. Let's try.
Kindness and concern are as necessary in the greenhouse as in the Great Hall.
Why is she talking to herself? I'm not overly worried about the Disney. I will come back for them, but I'm not overly worried about them. There is something also I need to show you as well. So if I get the time, I will quickly show you. Come on, guys, speed it up, speed it up. Ravenclaw going to class here. The only person I expect to be slow is Ominous.
You can get all sorts.
See, that's what I'll be able to do, is walk around with my books flying. Yeah, so the actual thing I wanted to speak to you about is actually what concerns this, but I will need to go to the location to show you.
Shouldn't there be auras or someone from the ministry guarding the school after the incident in Hogsmeade?
Professor Black would never allow that. It would make him look completely incompetent, which he is.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, actually, while I just quickly write something down, I've got... So, the actual playthrough that my cousin did for me actually was around part of the storyline of Professor Black. And all I will say is, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't got that far, is it was flipping hilarious. I seriously... Right, now, I do believe Miss Morrison here. Just trying to see what house she is. Hufflepuff. Yeah, because now and again, sometimes I'll just give a random student name randomly. Right, okay, so actually, do you know what? Let's go sneaking around to his office quickly, or his... Oh. So you'd think, wouldn't you, that they would just have some potions you could whip. Right, okay, let's begin. Let us begin the class.
Potions is one of the most challenging and hazardous subjects taught at this school. As fifth years, you will be required to reach new heights of both discipline and intellect. You will begin this term by brewing a Wiggenweld potion. Mr. Takar, can you tell us why this particular potion might come in handy?
Yes, Professor Sharp. The Wiggenweld potion can be used to sterilize and even heal a variety of injuries.
It can heal some injuries, but not all. Point for Ravenclaw. Before today's class is completed, each of you will have brewed a Wiggenweld potion of your own. You never know when you might need it. Please begin.
Right, so actually putting this into TV mode is actually good, because I can actually hear the voices so much better of the actual characters.
Even motion when crushing your ingredients.
So, for example, Professor Sharp sounds more deeper than when it was in cinema mode. Oh.
Please be meticulous when adding powder to your potions. One errant sneeze could be disastrous. I see most of you have not forgotten how to stir.
I don't know whether that was actually meant to be a compliment
Not
to
an easy potion to brew.
Amit.
Well done. And from what I hear of your recent exploits in Hogsmeade, you'd also do well to practice brewing the defensive Edurus potion. Professor Weasley had you acquire the recipe from J. Pippin's, correct?
Yes, sir.
Good. For the moment, you can find the ingredients you need in my office. But in the future, you'll be expected to provide your own ingredients. Some can be harvested from the plants you grow in your herbology class, and rarer ones can be purchased. Others, however, may be harder to obtain, and will require you to be a bit more resourceful. Come and see me when you've finished brewing, and we'll see if it was skill or luck the first time round.
Right, so I was going to say something a bit controversial about, well, some might consider a bit controversial in the fact that I was going to say that I actually prefer Professor Garlic to Professor whatever her name is now, I've forgotten. It'll probably come to me in a minute. Right, so
Professor Sharp said that Wiggenweld potion can treat injuries. Hope I never need it.
yes, that's, well, let's hope most of you don't ever need it.
Don't fret if you run out of ingredients. I simply grow most of what I need.
I'm on the fence about whether I like her or not. She comes across as extremely rude. Right, hello, Ominous.
My Wiggenweld potion's utter rubbish. Wish I could just replace it with one from J. Pippin's.
My parents considered keeping me home from school this year after the rumors of a goblin rebellion.
Maybe they should have done.
Professor Sharp must have learned a lot during his time as an Auror. I wish he talked about it more.
I was impressed that you were able to answer Professor Sharp's question about the Wiggenweld potion.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot coming from a fellow Ravenclaw. And I've never seen anyone brew such a flawless Wiggenweld potion on their first try. Well done.
I'm glad I was able to get it right the first time.
You must simply have a knack for potion making. Some students seem so confounded by potion recipes, it's as if they're written in gobbledygook. A fascinating language, by the way. Neither here nor there, really, but I am a self-taught speaker. Merlin's beard, good conversation is the enemy of free time. I must return my book, Gateway to the Far Stars, before my next class. Speaking of stars, we'll be in astronomy together. You'll love it. Professor Shaw is firm, but quite clever. See you soon, no doubt.
Right, also just to point out here, right, some of them you'll notice actually refer to him as Amit. But I had a manager who with the same name, and he always said his name was pronounced Amit. But those who actually say called him by Amit, it reminds me of my mum, because whenever she's in church, she always says Amen instead of Amen. It's like, oh, you need to pronounce the A, not just the R. But I think my mum sometimes forgets how the English language can be interpreted in ways. I mean, not saying that I'm being awful to my mum by saying that, but so please don't slaughter me in the comments for that.
Say that you have permission to go into his office.
You heard correctly.
He wants me to get more ingredients to brew another potion.
Brilliant! You, my friend, have been presented with an extraordinary opportunity. I'm Gareth, by the way. Gareth Weasley. Bit of a prodigy with potions, if I do say so myself.
Pleasure to meet you. Wait, are you related to Professor Weasley?
She's my aunt. Keeps too close an eye on me for comfort. Ugh. But she can't be everywhere. Listen, anyone with a troll-sized brain can brew an Adurus potion. I'm working on something that's certain to be spectacular. I'm just missing one tiny last ingredient that will add that extra spark.
I suspect that's where I come in.
You're as clever as I'd hoped. I simply need a single Fwooper feather. As you'll already be in Sharp's office with his permission, perhaps you could grab it for me.
I don't know, Gareth. I don't want to get on Sharp's bad side.
You won't. Fwooper feathers aren't that valuable. Sharp won't even miss it.
Nope.
I've enough to worry about collecting the ingredients he wants me to get. I'm afraid I can't help you.
I understand. I'll sort something else out.
Anybody with the surname Weasley in it, with the exception of Professor Weasley?
Your potion should not be...
I do not believe should be trusted. Right, memorandum, 31st of December 1875, so this is roughly when our character was born. From the Oral Office, Borgin and Burke's had an increased amount of activity outside of the ordinary shop hours, particularly in the wee hours of the night, with suspicious deliveries being made in the shop's back entrance. Given what we know of the shop's reputation, we are adding more Auras to join those who have already been watching the shop. You are amongst the new additions. Further instructions to follow. It's nice actually. Oh, did you hear that wolf noises? I did that. Right, now I'm going to take this, even though I just told Mr. Weasley that I wasn't, but you'll see why in a minute.
Remember, precision is key when brewing Should you chop the Dittany or crush it? The wrong answer could result in the unfortunate loss of your eyebrows.
Right, it was the Edorous potion, wasn't it, we're doing? So from this point on, it actually does it automatically for you. It'd be kind of nice if you could make them before you then do it automatically. I will say, I think that next time, when because they have confirmed there's going to be actual spin-offs to this now, given the sales records that they've made. Alright, I'm going to actually make one of these while I'm here. So, when they do the next game, I do think they should perhaps get different different actors to actually do the different voice pitches, because clearly having the one actor to do it is not helping the pitch in this. I would actually, while I think of it, so my cousin who did the gameplay for me, he's actually done one of the arenas, and my advice to you is when you do go to those arenas, whatever you do, make sure you have the full capacity of Wiggenweld potion on you that you can have, because he barely just got out of it with very little health left, and also I mean, I'm amazed at how well he actually did it, to be honest, but I'm just saying.
And now we add the mallow sweet.
Okay, here we go.
That's odd. What's happening? Wait, it's not supposed to. Ah!
Get it!
Dragon Dog! What happened?
Well done, Gareth.
What now, Mr. Weasley?
Sorry, Professor.
That'll be points from Gryffindor again.
See, that's why you need to avoid a Weasley. Unless it's Professor Weasley, in which case you don't want to avoid her. Okay.
I brewed an Edorous potion as you asked, Professor.
Glad you managed to stay on task. Not every class is so eventful. I saw Mr. Weasley speaking with you earlier. He can be quite persuasive. Glad you managed to resist. You've done well today. I confess I was skeptical, given the advanced nature of this class and the fact you're a new student.
I'm glad I was able to meet your expectations.
A rare occurrence. And you do well to remember that you're not a potions master quite yet. In addition to having a solid grasp of how to combine various ingredients, you should gain an understanding of the ingredients themselves. Pay particular attention in herbology. The plants you nurture there are often essential to the potions you brew here. Now, I recommend that you find a safe location in which to practice brewing. You cannot leave a hot cauldron simply anywhere. And you can keep that Fwooper feather. This time. That'll be all.
Right, so that's the reason why I just took the Frupa feather,
Think each of us
because
has had enough excitement for one day. Class is dismissed.
yeah, so I took it because what happened was when I did this in the live streams that I was trying to do, I didn't take it, and that, as you just see, that actual set statement basically that Professor Sharp just made is that he had assumed that I'd actually taken the Frupa feather and I hadn't, and I couldn't get back in there to get it. So that's why I took it. Right, so let's talk to him now.
That was an interesting class.
Wasn't precisely what I had in mind, but it was still brilliant. Well, for certain you'd have helped.
I'm glad I avoided trouble. Sharp certainly seemed upset with you.
His bark's worse than his bite. I think deep down he respects my artistic spirit. Sharp may seem gruff, but I'd bet a few galleons he blew up a potion or two in his day. Best be off. Next time we talk, I promise, fewer explosions.
Right, so one of the things that you actually learn out of this is that it's best to be very careful what way you choose. If you want to lose points for your house, then go ahead and do what they ask you to do. If you don't, then by all means. Right, so you see now this is locked now, so you can't get into there.
Ugh, my robes are going to reek from Gareth's inspiration for the rest of term.
Can't you just use magic to Oh, of course, these would have unlocked. So, I think we're going to be doing the girl from Wagadoo now, in which case I will change the outfits. Yes, so we're going to do the girl from Wagadoo. So I'm going to change outfit. I'm going to... so let's take this... I don't know, would I change the robe for it? Let's put the outfit on first. So... I don't think we got... See, it would have been nice if we kind of got an actual robe to go with it. I don't want a poach coat screw. I mean, that does kind of look cool, actually. I do like that. Yes, let's go with that, shall we? Now, this I know is annoying because this is one of the things that I didn't like about Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the constant need to go over and eliminate these bits. Right, okay, so now we're going to be taken to... Oh, so where did that go? Right,
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was.
I prefer the 3 broomsticks to the hogshead.
I might try in the next episode just do some side quests, because there are some side quests that some actual do you know these, seriously, some of these armaments are really brutal. They are bullies. I mean, this one here has just bashed him for humming. I mean, would you want to be standing there for centuries bored out of your mind? I need to be just completely and utterly, shall I say as the word is. Right, I'm going to go past this so I can actually... I just realised I've noticed the summoner's court is missing. I'm guessing it returns at a certain point.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Right, so this one here is effectively the actual base class room, so it has nothing. You can't actually get in here yet until you get the Hello Hamora. I think they made a mistake by not allowing you to get the Hello Hamora by going into the restricted section. I kind of get why they did it, but at the same time, it would have been nice to have got it a lot earlier. You know, at least perhaps do the Gatekeeper Moon's quest a bit earlier in it. It's like with the actual beasts. So like your beasts, you know, the mounts that you get. Flying mounts. They could have done that a lot sooner rather than later than they did, because it kind of then, I mean, I was guessing what their thought process was is that you will
Revelio.
I don't know why I ended up down here, but we might as well get some leech juice while we're here. I should have gone over that way. That is because I bet I'm going to end up going back the way I came, aren't I? Oh, that's why, because I went off. I should have gone off to the right, up near towards the Owlery bit. If you don't want to blast these, you can just actually Accio them, and they will come to you. I just do it because for me it's a lot easier. So look, if I do, so you do that, but then you've got to press the R2 to do it. That's why I think it's easy to just blast them. Now, I also figured out what I think of it in the actual live stream attempts that I did, that when flying and you're doing the Imelda race competitions, remember to press L2 to go faster, because that was the mistake I made. Oh, it's not. Now, I'm not quite so sure as to why the gatekeeper's hut is so close to a small hamlet. I would have thought it should have been further in. It's a sheep. I wondered what on earth that was for a minute. Right, so you can actually go in here.
Revelio.
I mean, there's nothing really of great significance in here. I mean, it's got these here. Now, I will admit I cannot stand Quidditch. I hate the whole concept and idea of it. And please, you can show your disdain for me for that in the comments if you love it. But I cannot stand it. So that is why.
Dangerous if I'm not careful.
Revelio.
Right, I can hear the bell, but it's clearly there's something meant to be here. Right, so this is where the map can be useful if... Yeah, see, look. I can tell that there's something there to get. But then... Right, I think it's on the inside.
Revelio.
There you go, look. So I think they added that in the last patch, or in the patch that they did recently. Oh, it started raining. What a surprise. Mind you, I will admit, it doesn't rain as much in this as it does Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Disney's Dreamlight Valley. It's, you know, I think they got this preconception in that the UK constantly rains all the time. I mean, I know we moan about the weather a lot, but...
It is good to see you, my friend.
Right, hello, my friend.
Hello,
How are
Natty.
we doing today?
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I was there, and I saw what happened with Rookwood and Harlow at the Three Broomsticks. I have been worried about you.
I'm all right at the moment.
If you don't mind my asking, why were they looking for you?
They want something that Professor Fig and I found at Gringotts.
When were you at Gringotts?
Just before we came to Hogwarts. In fact, it's why I was late to the sorting ceremony. A portkey brought us there after the dragon attacked our carriage.
What on earth?
There's one more thing. It's a bit odd, if I'm honest. Professor Fig says I have a rare connection to a powerful form of ancient magic.
What does that mean?
I'm still learning, but I can see traces of it, and I've cast magic I can't otherwise explain. I know that's a lot to absorb.
It is. And I will have more questions. For now, it is safe to say that Rookwood and Harlow are a threat to both of us. To all of us. Which is why I wanted to speak to you. Everyone has been talking about you defending Hogsmeade from that troll attack. And I shall never forget watching Sorona stand
Ooh. Sorry about that.